All right, fifth and final session of the Backcountry hunting program, V2. This is kind of like the meat and potatoes of the program. One of my favorite things to do for the Backcountry is the tire drag. Now, in the overview, we've linked it. I'll also link it right on the actual session. Building a tire is very easy, very cheap. It's a very effective training tool. Probably the closest thing that we can do out here in the flatlands that mimic what you're going to experience in the mountains. We're going to use the same kind of loading that we used for the level 1, 2, and 3, all right? Now, if you're gonna toss your pack on top of a tire, be really mindful of the straps, because if the straps kind of slide underneath the tire and you're dragging, you're gonna just fray and destroy those straps. I did that with my XO, the last version. I have a new pack since then. I don't really worry about that, but if you do decide to load it with your pack versus a plate or some 2x4s and a kettlebell, just make sure your straps are not getting damaged along the way. The tire drag is meant to be very challenging. So if you watch the video, it's not gonna be one of those things where you're walking fast and you're walking normal. We want you to lean into it and make it challenging, like you're walking up a hill under load. So this is one of those times that the surface you drag on and the size of the tire are gonna influence how much you should really weight it. If you get a little dinky tire from like a Prius, you're gonna need to put more than just your pack on. You're gonna need to load it up to where it's actually hard to walk forward. The biggest difference here is that our prescribed durations for levels are different. So it doesn't really matter if you use your pack or you go heavier or lighter, because there's so many different tires and so many different dragging surfaces out there. What's important is that you're leaning into it and you're really taxing the lower body for the prescribed duration. Once again, like most of the things in this program, it's gonna get harder and harder, in this case longer, week to week to week. Additionally, on the back side of this session, we have some resilience work. Resilience work is kind of like our prehab. You're gonna have some stabilizer strength in there and some mobility exercises, as well as some low back strength work. So what you're gonna see moving forward is you're not gonna see a video for each session, because basically it's the same session, but each one gets harder, all right? So we apply progression, one of the most powerful ways that we can actually improve fitness. If you guys do have questions, once again, email us, jake@atomic-athlete.com or coach@atomic-athlete.com, and good luck in the out in the woods this season. All right, so we have a basic warm-up for session 5. A little bit of running, some soft tissue run again. Knock out that tire drag 20, 30, or 40 minutes based on your level. Once again, make sure if you're dragging your pack with that tire, that these straps don't get caught underneath it and get damaged. From there, we have a little bit of resilience. 4 movements, okay? First one's gonna be a glute leg lift. The idea of the glute leg lift is train the glute med. We're gonna stack our hips 6 and 12. I'm gonna lay out my tricep. This hand's on the ground. My head is in the bottom side hand. From there, I'm gonna have my legs stacked on top of one another. I'm gonna come straight up and straight down. So that's the glute leg lift. For the shoulder hand job, it's a very similar movement, but for the shoulder girdle. We're gonna grab a bottle, a 2.5 pound plate, some type of small, heavier, odd object. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pin our elbow into our hip. From there, we're gonna keep this thumbs up position, holding whatever object we are, and we're going to lift and then come down. So basically working those small muscle groups in the rotator cuff. Okay, you should feel it in the posterior side of your deltoid right there. From there, we're gonna go into the pigeon stretch. Okay, bring one leg forward. Okay, I'm thinking about sitting down on the outside of that glute right there, that hip. Getting a good stretch throughout this whole side right here. Hold that for the prescribed duration. And then we'll come up, and then we'll switch. And then finally, we're gonna finish with a face down back extension. I'm gonna go ahead and lie down. I'm gonna draw my elbows into my rib cage. I'm going to lift, pause, and then relax. Touch my chin, lift, touch, for the prescribed reps or duration, all right? So a quick overview of all 5 sessions, the movements involved. Might just be easier than having to hit every single individual link. I'll give you guys a good idea of what each session is gonna look like. Now keep in mind, as we move forward over the 4-week period, each of these sessions is gonna progress and get a little bit harder.